Have you ever wondered how someone with a degree, a good job, even a high IQ, still ends up broke? They know math, they understand logic, they've read the books, but their bank account still says, not enough, buy. Here's the truth no one talks about. Being smart doesn't protect you from being broke, because the system isn't built on intelligence. It's built on traps. Financial traps, psychological traps, lifestyle traps. And the smarter you are, the easier it is to believe. This won't happen to me, but it does. Again and again. And if you don't see what's coming, you'll fall for the same things millions of smart people fall for every day. This video will show you the silent habits, hidden beliefs, and clever lies that keep brilliant minds financially stuck. So if you're smart and still broke, you know what's strange? We live in the age of information. Answers are everywhere. Google is in your pocket. Books are cheap. YouTube is full of financial tips, advice, success stories, and yet so many smart people are still struggling with money. Doctors, engineers, accountants, people with degrees, people with experience, people who can solve problems for others, but still can't solve their own financial puzzle. Why are people who understand numbers, logic, and systems still broke? You'd think intelligence alone would be enough. It's not. In fact, sometimes it's the reason, because smart people often fall into one hidden trap. They overthink money, but underpractice it. They know how money works. In theory, they've studied budgets. They've heard about investing. They can explain inflation, credit, taxes. But knowing is not the same as doing. You see, smart people are trained to wait, to analyze, to plan everything perfectly. They want full control before they take action. But money doesn't wait. Money rewards action, not overthinking, not perfection, not waiting for the right time. So while the smart person is building a 10-page spreadsheet, someone else is starting a business, taking a risk, buying their first asset, learning by doing. And guess who ends up ahead? It's the one who moved, even if they made mistakes, because mistakes can be corrected. Time cannot. Another problem? Smart people often feel ashamed of not having money. They think, I'm smart, I should have figured this out. I have a degree, I shouldn't be struggling. So they stay silent. They pretend everything's fine, they don't ask for help. They don't read the basic money books. Because that would feel embarrassing. But here's the truth. Money is not about IQ, it's about behavior. And behavior is emotional. Spending, saving, investing. These are all emotional decisions first, and logical ones second. If you don't control your emotions, even the smartest plan falls apart. And sadly, most smart people never learn this, because no one teaches it in school. No professor explains money, trauma, fear, pressure, ego, or envy. They teach you formulas, but not freedom. So smart people end up in a loop. They make good money, they spend it, feel guilty. They try to fix it with more knowledge. They plan, they wait, they miss opportunities, they fall behind, they feel frustrated, they read more, but still don't take action. This is how smart people stay broke. Not because they're dumb, but because they confuse knowledge with results. But the good news, once you realize this, everything can change. Because intelligence is still powerful. It just needs to be pointed in the right direction. You already have the brain. You already have the skills. Now it's time to fix the habits, the mindset, the blind spots. Because the system isn't designed for smart people to win. It's designed for disciplined people to win. That's why the flashy guy with no degree builds $1 million business, while the MBA student works for him. It's not about smarts. It's about action, risk, mindset, and consistency. So if you've ever felt, I should be further by now, I know better. Why do I still make bad money decisions? I understand money, but I don't feel wealthy. You're not alone. You're not broken. You're just stuck in the smart trap. And in this video, we're going to break that. In the next section, I'll show you the 5 specific reasons smart people stay broke and how to flip each one into a strength. Because once you shift the way you think and act, you'll unlock wealth faster than most people even understand. Reason number 1, smart people think too much and do too little. One of the biggest reasons smart people stay broke is this. They overthink a lot. They think before they spend. They think before they invest. They think before they start something. They think before they ask questions. They think so much. They end up doing nothing. They don't want to make mistakes. They want to be 100% sure. They want the perfect plan. They want all the research done. They want all the risks removed. And while they're thinking, guessing, waiting, the opportunity is gone. Here's what usually happens. A smart person sees a business idea. They think, what if it fails? What if I lose my savings? What if I don't know enough yet? I should watch 10 more videos about it first. Meanwhile, someone else who knows much less jumps in. He starts small. He learns on the way. He fails, yes, but he keeps going. And soon he figures it out. That's the difference. The smart person stays stuck in the planning stage. The action taker wins because he learns by doing. Real growth doesn't happen when you know something. It happens when you do something, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's scary. Because money rewards movement, not just logic. Let's say you're thinking about starting a side hustle. You've watched 30 YouTube videos. You've read 4 books. You've listened to 10 podcasts. You've planned out your budget, marketing, website, and long-term vision. But you still haven't posted that first product, or reached out to your first customer, or earned even $1. That's the trap. You're living in your head, but not in the real world. And guess what? It's the only money that counts is the money in your hand. It's not the money in your ideas. Smart people are trained to think. That's how they win in school. Good grades come from giving the right answer. But money isn't like school. There are no perfect answers in real life. Sometimes the wrong action teaches you more than the right theory. You'll never learn how to handle clients from reading. You'll learn by dealing with your first tough customer. You won't learn how to budget just by watching a tutorial. You'll learn when you actually manage your next paycheck. You won't know if a side hustle works until you try it. But smart people want proof before the risk, and that's what keeps them broke. They think they're being careful, but what they're really doing is avoiding the discomfort of starting. Let me say something clearly. Overthinking is not intelligence. It's fear dressed up as logic, and fear is expensive. It keeps you from building. It keeps you from growing. It keeps you from earning. You might feel safe, but you're stuck. The fix. Take messy action. Stop waiting to be ready. Start doing something small today. If you want to start a YouTube channel, post 1 short video today. If you want a budget, open your bank app right now and list 3 biggest leaks. If you want to invest, set aside just $10 this week and study 1 ETF. If you want to freelance, message 1 person today who might need your help. Start before you feel ready. You'll grow into it. Because the truth is, clarity comes from action, not thinking. You won't feel confident at first. That's okay. Confidence is built by showing up, not by studying. And every time you take 1 small step, your brain learns, I can do this. You get a win. You get feedback. You move forward. That's how wealth is built, not with perfect plans, but with brave action. So bye. If you're smart and still broke, stop thinking so much. Start doing a little more. Even 1 step a day will change everything. Because money doesn't care how smart you are. It cares how committed you are.
Reason number 2, they wait for the perfect time. That never comes. Here's another reason smart people stay broke. They wait for the perfect time. And that perfect time, it never comes. You see, smart people like to be sure. They want things to be just right before they move. They say things like, I'll invest when I earn more. I'll start saving once this month is over. I'll launch my business after I learn a bit more. I'll take that step when things calm down. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. Life is always busy. Expenses always show up. Doubts never fully go away. And your brain will always give you a reason to wait. That's how it protects you with delay. But delay costs you something. Every month you wait to start saving, you lose potential growth. Every year you wait to start investing, you miss out on compounding. Every week you wait to act, someone else is already getting ahead. Comfort feels good, but progress feels better. And smart people often confuse comfort with safety. They think waiting makes them smarter, but all it really does is keep them stuck. Let's take an example. You're thinking about starting a side hustle. You tell yourself, I'll wait until the holidays are over. Then the holidays come. You say, let me start fresh next year. Then you say, let me learn more first. Then it's too hot. Then it's too cold. Then let me just figure some things out first. Suddenly, it's been 2 years. Nothing started. No money made. And that perfect time still hasn't come. That's how time disappears. You don't lose it in one big moment. You lose it in small, quiet delay. Now, let me be clear. You don't need to rush blindly, but there's a difference between preparing and procrastinating. Preparation is planning with a clear deadline. Procrastination is hiding behind planning. Forever. Smart people love to prepare, but they often forget to pull the trigger because taking action feels risky. What if they fail? What if they lose money? What if it doesn't go as planned? But here's the thing. Doing nothing is also risky. Waiting too long can cost you just as much, sometimes more, than making a wrong move. Let's say you delay investing for 5 years. You miss out on compound growth. That's not being careful. That's being expansive. Let's say you wait to learn about money until you're 40. You've already spent 20 years making avoidable mistakes. That's not wise. That's wasteful.
The smartest people often end up being the slowest to start because they think they need more time. But what they actually need is more courage. So what's the solution? Start before you feel ready. You're never going to feel 100% confident. That's okay. What matters is getting into the game. Even if you start small, even if it's messy, even if it's scary, because action brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence. Here's a mindset shift. Instead of asking, is this the perfect time? Ask, what can I do right now with what I have? So that one question will move your entire life forward. Don't wait to start saving until you have $500. Start with $5. Don't wait to build a business until you've built the full plan. Start with one product or one service. Don't wait to invest until you know everything. Start with what you understand now. Even if it's just opening a savings account today, that's a win. Even if it's just setting aside $1 from your next meal, that is a habit, because progress is built in small steps, not giant leaps. The people who build wealth, they don't wait for the perfect time. They create it by starting. And here's the truth. The perfect time won't come knocking, but your future self is already waiting. It's waiting for you to stop delaying, waiting for you to take control. It's waiting for you to say, let's go. No more waiting. So if you're smart but stuck, stop waiting. You already have enough to begin. And if you begin today, you'll be ahead of 99% of people who are still waiting for someday. Reason number 3. Smart people tie their identity to being right. Smart people love being right. And that's not always a bad thing. In school, being right means good grades. At work, being right earns you respect. In conversations, being right gives you confidence. But in real life, especially with money, being right isn't always possible. And smart people struggle with that. They tie their self-worth to being correct. They hate being wrong. They fear failure. They feel embarrassed when they mess up. So what do? They avoid anything that could make them look foolish. And sadly, that includes most money-making decisions. Because real wealth, it comes from trial and error. It comes from failing forward. It comes from doing things that feel uncertain. But smart people want certainty. They don't want to be laughed at. They don't want to hear, I told you so. They don't want to feel like a beginner. So instead of trying, they wait. They hold back. They talk themselves out of action. Because if they never try, they never have to be wrong. But here's the painful truth. Avoiding mistakes is the biggest mistake. No one builds wealth without being wrong. The most successful entrepreneurs, they failed in their first few tries. The best investors, they made bad calls before learning the game. The most disciplined savers, they used to be broke once. Every smart person who succeeds has one thing in common. They let go of their ego. They accepted being wrong. They accepted failure. They accepted learning in public. They weren't afraid to look dumb for a while because they knew it wouldn't last forever. That's the mindset shift smart people need. Stop chasing the image of being right. Start chasing the results that come from doing. You're not your mistakes. You're not your past. You're not your failed business or your bad purchase or your first investment loss. You are what you choose to do next. But if you let your pride stop you, you stay broke. Broke financially and broke mentally. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you want to start investing. You read books. You watch videos. You understand index funds, compound interest, risk levels. You know what to do, but you're afraid. What if I pick the wrong stock? What if people think I'm dumb? What if I lose money and feel like a failure? So you do nothing. That fear of being wrong keeps you from being wealthy. But guess what? Even the best investors lose money sometimes. Even Warren Buffett has made bad bets. Even the smartest people in the world have regrets. And still, they're rich. Not because they were always right, because they kept moving after they were wrong. That's the difference. Smart people think they need to be perfect, but money rewards the bold, not the perfect. You don't need to be right all the time. You just need to be willing to act, learn, and adjust. Being wrong is a part of the process. Failing is part of the win. Embarrassment is temporary, but wisdom lasts forever. So if you're smart and still broke, ask yourself honestly, am I more focused on being right or being rich? Because sometimes you have to look silly now to look successful later. Sometimes you have to unlearn everything you were taught to build something no one in your family ever had. And sometimes you have to fall hard, so you finally learn how to rise. The world doesn't reward people who are always correct. It rewards those who are always curious, always willing to grow, and always humble enough to admit they don't know everything. So let go of the pride. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of your fear of being wrong, because the sooner you start getting things wrong, the sooner you start getting things right. Reason number 4. Smart people focus on income, not wealth. Here's something that shocks most smart people. High income doesn't mean high wealth. Just because you earn a lot doesn't mean you're rich. And just because someone earns less doesn't mean they're poor. This is where smart people get trapped. They focus all their energy on earning more. And yes, income is important. It gives you options. It opens doors. But income is only one piece of the puzzle. Wealth is what you keep. Income is what you earn. You can make $10,000 a month and still live paycheck to paycheck. You can drive a BMW, wear a Rolex, eat at 5-star restaurants, and still be one missed paycheck away from panic. And you know what's crazy? Most smart people don't even realize it. Because society has trained them to chase income like it's the final goal. Get a degree, get a high-paying job, level up, have promotions, more salary. That's what they're told. And when they get there, they still feel empty. Why? Because income gives you a lifestyle. Wealth gives you freedom. They're not the same. A smart person may be making $8,000 a month, but if they spend $7,800 every month, they're not rich. They're trapped. They're working for a paycheck. They have no gap, no safety, no breathing room. And they wonder, how come I make so much, but I'm still stressed? It's because they focused on income, not ownership. Here's the real game. You don't get rich by earning more. You get rich by keeping more and growing it. That's what wealth is. Wealth is having investments that pay you even when you're sleeping, owning assets that grow over time, having money set aside for emergencies, being free from debt, having the power to say no to things that don't serve you. Wealth is invisible. Income is loud. But most smart people fall for the loud life. They want to look successful, so they upgrade everything. New car, better apartment, fancy tech, weekend trips, luxury dinners. Because I earn well, I deserve this. But that's the trap. Deserving doesn't build wealth. Discipline does. Let me give you a simple example. Ali earns $4,000 a month. He lives on $2,500, saves $1,000, and invests $500. Zane earns $9,000 per month. He spends $8,900 a month to maintain a high-level lifestyle. In 5 years, guess who's ahead? Ali every time. Because Ali was building wealth quietly. Zane was burning money loudly. Smart people need to understand this. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and multiply. So instead of asking, how can I make more money? Start asking, how much of my income do I actually keep? What assets do I own that can pay me back? If I lost my job tomorrow, how long could I survive? Those are wealth questions. That's where the shift happens. Here's another trap smart people fall into. They keep chasing income upgrades, but they never upgrade their money habits. So even when they go from $3,000 to $7,000 to $10,000 a month, their lifestyle grows with it. More salary equals more spending. The gap never grows. The pressure never stops. The peace never comes. That's the pain. And then something hits. A layoff, medical emergency, a family crisis, a business slowdown, and everything collapses. Why? Because there was no wealth, only income. And income is fragile. It can disappear fast. But wealth is resilient. Wealth protects you. Wealth buys you time. Wealth keeps you safe. So if you're smart but still broke, ask yourself honestly, am I chasing income or building wealth? It's okay to earn more, but don't let that be the only goal. Use your income too. Build an emergency fund, invest in index funds, start a side business by cash flow assets, pay off debt. These things don't just make you look successful. They make you unbreakable. Reason number 5. Smart people confuse knowledge with action. Smart people love to learn. They read books. They watch YouTube videos. They listen to podcasts. They attend webinars. They gather information like it's gold. And yes, learning is good. But here's where the trap begins. Smart people often confuse knowledge with progress. They feel like they're moving forward just because they've learned something new. But learning is not action. Reading a book doesn't build a budget. Watching a video doesn't grow your savings. Listening to a podcast doesn't start your side hustle. Only doing does that. But many smart people stay stuck in research mode. They keep learning more and more, but doing nothing with it. They say things like, I just need to study a little more. I'll start after I understand it better. Let me finish this course first. I'm almost ready, but they're never ready, because every answer leads to more questions. Every lesson shows them how much they still don't know. They stay in this endless loop of learning and waiting. Why? Because learning feels safe. Action feels scary. In learning, there's no failure, no judgment, no risk. But when you take action, now it's real. You might mess up. You might look dumb. You might lose money. So they stay in their comfort zone. Information, and call it being productive. But here's the hard truth. Reason number 5. Smart people confuse knowledge with action. Smart people love to learn. They read books. They watch YouTube videos. They listen to podcasts. They attend webinars. They gather information like it's gold. And yes, learning is good. But here's where the trap begins. Smart people often confuse knowledge with progress. They feel like they're moving forward just because they've learned something new. But learning is not action. Reading a book doesn't build a budget. Watching a video doesn't grow your savings. Listening to a podcast doesn't start your side hustle. Only doing does that. But many smart people stay stuck in research mode. They keep learning more and more, but doing nothing with it. They say things like, I just need to study a little more. I'll start after I understand it better. Let me finish this course first. I'm almost ready, but they're never ready, because every answer leads to more questions. Every lesson shows them how much they still don't know. They stay in this endless loop of learning and waiting. Why? Because learning feels safe. Action feels scary. In learning, there's no failure, no judgment, no risk. But when you take action, now it's real. You might mess up. You might look dumb. You might lose money. So they stay in their comfort zone. Information, and call it being productive. But here's the hard truth. Reason number 6. Smart people let emotions win over logic. Smart people are known for being logical. They solve problems. They think clearly. They analyze risks. They know how to plan. But when it comes to money, emotions often win. That's a hidden reason why so many smart people stay broke. Because no matter how much you know, you're still human. You feel stress. You feel pressure. You feel fear, envy, boredom, anxiety, and guilt. You'll
We were well to melon. Like, well, why, all like, why, we can't be,
Let's break it down. You may know you should be saving, but when you're tired, stressed, or sad, you spend. You know eating out is expensive, but after a long day, cooking feels like punishment. You know, investing early is smart, but fear tells you, what if I lose everything? You know, credit card debt is dangerous, but that one online sale just feels too good to skip. That's the problem. We don't spend with logic, we spend with emotion. And smart people think their intelligence can stop it, but it doesn't. In fact, sometimes smart people make even worse emotional money choices because they're good at justifying them. They say things like, I deserve this. I've worked hard. It's a small treat. It won't matter. I'll fix it later. I've thought about this. It's not a random purchase. They use logic to cover emotional decisions. They dress up impulse spending as self-care or strategy. And slowly their wallet starts bleeding. Because even smart people crack under pressure. Emotional stress leads to emotional spending. And the smarter you are, the better you are at explaining it away. Let's talk about another emotion. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of risk. Fear of losing money. Fear of looking dumb. That fear stops smart people from starting businesses, investing early, asking for a raise, taking money decisions that could change their life, they say. I'll wait until I'm more confident. But confidence doesn't come first. Action does. And fear. Fear will always whisper something to stop you. You just have to move anyway. Another big emotion? Shame. Smart people feel ashamed when they struggle with money. They think I'm supposed to be intelligent. Why am I still broke? Should have known better. I can't ask for help. That would make me look weak. So instead of fixing things, they hide. They avoid their bank app. They don't check their credit. They pretend it's not a big deal. But inside, they feel stuck, guilty, trapped. And that shame grows silently until one day it explodes, usually in the form of a big financial mistake. Overspending, bad investments, debt, or giving. Up on financial goals altogether by emotions are powerful. They can build your life or burn it down. So what's the solution? You must separate emotion from action. Doesn't mean you ignore how you feel. It means you don't let it control the decision. Here's how. Pause. When you feel triggered by fear, stress, or temptation, don't act right away. Ask yourself, breathe. Wait. Delay the decision 24 hours. Walk. Right. Am I spending because I want to, or because I feel something I don't want to face? Plan for emotion. Make rules before emotions show up. Example. I don't buy anything over $50 without sleeping on it. I don't make money decisions when I'm angry or sad. I save first before I do anything else. Automate good behavior. Set up automatic transfers. Use cash envelopes. Unfollow accounts that pressure you into spending. Make your system stronger than your feelings, because your brain might forget, but your systems won't. And last, forgive yourself. Smart people are hard on themselves. One mistake, and they feel like they failed completely. But money is not about perfection. It's about patterns. One bad week won't break you, but ignoring it for years will. So if you overspent, fix it. If you delayed investing, start now. If you've lost control, take it back. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just human. And once you learn how to handle your emotions, your logic can finally do what it's good at. It can build wealth. It's not in theory, but in real life. Reason number 7. They chase complexity and ignore simplicity. Smart people love complex ideas. They enjoy deep thinking. They like solving puzzles. They feel excited when something looks advanced or difficult. And that's great in school or in science. But when it comes to money, this habit can become a trap. Because real wealth is built on simple things, but smart people think it has to be complicated. They say, this budgeting method is too basic. I need a more advanced investing strategy. This advice is too simple. It can't work. I've already read about saving. What's the real secret? And while they search for something new, ignore what already works. That's the problem. They chase complexity, skip the basics. They want shortcuts, hacks, and secret formulas. But the truth is, money grows through simple, boring habits. It's done again and again. Let me show you how simple it really is. Spend less than you earn, save, and invest the difference. Avoid debt, repeat for years. That's it. But that sounds too easy, too boring, too slow. Smart people don't like boring. They want to feel like they're doing something smart. So they jump into options trading without learning the basics. Real estate with zero experience, crypto without understanding the risk business models that sound fancy but fail fast. And when things go wrong, they blame themselves. They think I'm not smart enough.
No?
But the truth is, they were too smart for their own good. They skipped the steps that matter, the slow steps, the unsexy steps. Because success didn't feel big enough. Here's something you need to know. Simplicity is not weakness, it's wisdom. The wealthiest people in the world often do the same simple things over and over. Live below their means by assets. Not toys. Invest consistently. Ignore hype. Keep learning. Stay patient. But you'll never see these things trending online. Because they're not flashy. They don't sell courses. They don't go viral. But they work. Let me give you a simple example. Two people start investing. Person A puts $300 a month into a boring index fund. Person B tries different smart investments, NFTs, penny stocks, Forex, etc. After 10 years, Person A has built real wealth. Slow, steady, solid. Person B has stories, stress, and losses. That's the power of simple. But most smart people never stick to it because they get bored. And boredom feels like failure, so they keep chasing. New tools, new strategies, new systems. And in the process, they lose time, they lose money, they lose peace. You don't need more information, you need more repetition. Repetition builds habits. Habits build results. Results build wealth. And it starts with the same small moves. Tracking your expenses, saving 20% of your income, automating your investments, avoiding lifestyle creep, saying no to useless stuff. Every smart person knows this, but few actually do it consistently because it's not exciting. It doesn't feel like big brain work. But you know what's exciting? Freedom, peace, time, choice. That's what simplicity buys you. And it's what complexity steals from you. So if you're smart and still broke, maybe it's not because you don't know enough. Maybe it's because you've been ignoring what really matters, the simple stuff. And that's what separates the broke genius from the quiet millionaire. Final section, the turnaround. How to break the smart broke cycle forever. Let's be real. If you've made it this far, you're probably one of the smart ones. You've read, you've watched, you've thought deeply about money. You know more than most people around you, and still, you're not where you want to be. You feel stuck, behind, frustrated, and deep inside, maybe even a little ashamed. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You're just caught in the smart trap. A trap that tells you, wait until you're fully ready. Be perfect or don't start. Learn more before acting. Keep thinking instead of doing. Avoid risk at all costs. Chase money, not freedom. Never look wrong, never look weak. But now you see it, clearly, and that's the first step to freedom. Because once you know the game, you can start playing your way. So, how do you break the cycle? Let me give you 7 rules, one for each reason we discussed. Rule 1. Action beats overthinking. Start small. Start scared. Start before you feel ready. Even a messy first step is better than standing still. Rule 2. Now is always better than later. Waiting for the perfect time is how years are lost. Your future doesn't need you perfect. It needs you present. Today, Rule 3. Let go of being right. You're not here to protect your image. You're here to build your future. Mistakes are proof that you're moving. Rule 4. Build wealth, not just income. A high salary is not freedom. Assets are. Savings are. Ownership is. Focus on what lasts. Rule 5. Act on what you know. You don't need more information. You need more application. One small action greater than 10 big ideas. Rule 6. Control your emotions. Fear, envy, guilt, stress, they are all expensive. Make decisions when you're calm, not when you're emotional. Rule 7. Simplicity wins. Track, save, invest. Repeat, ignore the noise. Keep it boring. Let wealth be the reward. These rules aren't fancy. They won't go viral. They won't impress people at a dinner party. But they work. You'll look back in 1 year and say, that's when everything changed. But it starts now, not tomorrow. Not when you earn more. Not when life slows down. Now, so here's your challenge. Buy. Choose one action today. Just one. Open a savings account, cancel one useless subscription list, your top 3 expenses transfer. $10 to an investment app, build a simple budget message someone for freelance work. Sell one thing you don't use. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Just move. Because money doesn't respond to knowledge. It responds to movement. And you're smarter than most people out there. Now it's time to be freer than them too. You've got the brain. You've got the truth. Now go get the freedom you deserve. And remember, they'll call you lucky later. But only because you were brave first.